Welcome back to my channel, Lily's Crafty Corner. Today I'm going to share with you a project that I'm working on that's going to be sent out to a swap partner. The group that I'm swapping in for this is Pocket Letters USA and More, and the name of the swap is Crazy Happy Mail. And what I made was a little album to house the Happy Mail that I'm going to send. And it's the album itself is a download. There's actually two components here. One is a Freebie Friday component that I've used, and the other one is from her Wonderlust and mini albums. And she has a large, small, and medium. And I chose the large and medium, large and medium. And it will, I printed it out on the paper that I chose when I purchased the download, because it's two things. It's either you can print it out so that it's a plain paper, and it will just, you can mat it and then get your, have your pattern that way, or you can have it print out on a patterned piece of paper, or you can use the one I chose at the time was the vintage. And this happens to be the medium, and it has, what I've done is I've collaged it and I've sewn around it to just add another dimension to it. And I also took some papers, some music paper, note paper, and have ripped it and inked it and put it on as a collage. And then I have one of Tim Holtz's little birds here. Then I have these flowers, and I can't tell you which collection they came from, because what I did was, usually when I buy these collections, I use them for a project. They might be part of a paper pack or whatever that go along with it. And then, once I have usually sometimes I only have one or two left, and you just kind of stick them in a potpourri kind of thing where you have all of them together and it's whatever. So you don't always remember. This particular one here, this little yellow rose, I do know that it came from Amazon. And on the back I have a piece of lace that I put on there. And this lace actually happens to be lace that I purchased in Woodstock, New York, the little village or town. And it's about an hour and a half northwest of where I live, and it's just kind of nice. There was a nice big old bag of it, and I couldn't believe all the snippets, and there was actually a couple of things that were brand new rolls of lace, never used, and it was just great for 20 bucks. I just, some of those things were probably $20 just for the roll, one roll. So it was really nice. I love shopping, flea markets and thrift stores and so forth, because you never know what you're going to find. And then I just this is one of these paper doilies, and I may have gotten that at Michael's or A.C. Moore. But anyway, that's one of the places. Then another piece of lace on the side, on the binding, that was from one of the thrift store finds. So it was really a lot of fun, and I do like sewing the paper. I don't know if you can actually see it here. I didn't mean to hit the camera, but anyway, it is sewn, and it's a lot of fun. It just adds another dimension. On the inside, I made a little belly band for the bookmark, and the bookmark is one of the things that we were able to do. And the dress form comes from a craft pack that I bought at Hobby Lobby, and I can't think of the name of the paper pack right now. And the little butterfly, he's part of the Tim Holtz, and so is the little bird. And this is just paper, music note paper that I had. Here I also have another piece of it, and this is from Genevieve. I don't know if the pocket is an actual, I don't remember now if it's from the Freebie Friday or if it's part of the Wonderlust or one of her embellishments, but because again, I'm always mixing and matching them. The other thing that I do like is the this little spool here. We had this also comes from part of her collection, and what's nice is that you can laminate it and then you can put your washi tape samples on it. And here are the 5, and 2 of them are Tim Holtz, the one that has the alphabet and then the other one that has the ruler. And then it just goes right back in here. And as you can see, I glued a piece of lace on there. There we go. We can get that back in there, I think, easily. Yeah, just tuck it out. Not a problem. And she still has room, whoever gets this, to, put photos or whatever. And they can tuck whatever they like in there. I left this open purposely. On the other side, I made a pocket. And the pocket actually is the other half of the flip out. And that was actually this piece here, and I just decided to make a pocket and a flip from it. The paper that I used here turns out to be, actually, it's lace, that various laces. I don't know if you can see through the holes here, because I did place something underneath that and something underneath these holes here. And I put them in the bed of my copy machine printer, and I was able to do an 8.5 by 11, and I can cut it up and use it as I see fit. Over here I decoupaged on the other page, I decoupaged a napkin, and I used a glue stick. And the reason I like to do that is that if you use the glue stick, it almost gives it a fabric-y feel, and it comes out really quite nice. Then on the other side, I did do that flip out, and of course, it was, as you can see, I had printed out the vintage. And actually, I think I dropped some water or something on here, and when not realizing it, and when I closed it, it actually came through over here, because it is an inkjet printer. It is not a laser. So therefore, it did, bleed, which is fine, actually. It looks great. I kind of said that was a happy mistake. On the other side, I made I have a glassine bag. Also, part of Jennifer's things is the glassine bag template. So I printed that out on vellum, and again, it was the vintage that I used, and I printed it out on the vellum, and then it was where I can house, as you can see, my napkins. And these are the 4 napkins that I chose to send, that was part of the requirement. And I have used these all. This is the Magnolia. This is one I used to do a couple of things. I made a wallet, a trifold wallet, and I also made decoupaged it onto a old crystal glass from the thrift store that I got for $1, and it was a little hazed, so it really was a great one to use for that. The other is a what do you call them, cabbage roses, and I love the way the colors are in this. It's great for a background, or whatever you're going to use it for, because it has so many colors. You can really bring in a lot. And then the other is the shells, the seashells, and I love these. And these worked out nice also for background paper that I used. Now they are napkin, they're the drink size or the dessert size, and it didn't matter which size we sent. And the other thing is that I just wanted to mention that even though they're wrinkled, you can iron them on a warm iron. Maybe even get it a little bit hotter to get all the wrinkles out, but it doesn't hurt them. And I did take off the backing so that they would be easier to fit in, because I wanted them to fit in the book, and I wanted them to fit into the pocket, and it worked. I was very pleased with that. So I know some of mine do get wrinkled because I have far too many, and they kind of get squashed sometimes. So it's much better to take and iron them, and it just kind of works. And I had them all in there. Now, why am I having a problem? Maybe I put the wrong one in first. Let's see, because I can just slide it in there. Yeah, we can. So I've ironed many a napkin in my time. Paper napkin, that is. And there they go. They'll get the other one in. That is. Okay. I'll do a better job of getting that in later. So then, as you can see, I used that also for the flip. I think I mentioned that already. So now then we're going to go to the last page, and the last page has number 5 of what I sent, and those are the 2 2 tags, and they were also part of her printable. And I printed them out on a craft type paper. This was a little thinner than your normal craft paper, so I think it was really just a brown paper. And then again, these books that I get at the flea market, you know, for a couple of dollars. I try not to spend any more than, if I spend $5, it's got to be a big book and have a lot of music or whatever I happen to be looking for. And then these, of course, are the Tim Holtz flowers, and some more of the washi tapes on it, flat backs, and I think that came out cute. And I put them in another pocket, as you can see. Now, I think when I started this, I'm not sure if I showed you yes, I did tell you about the bookmark, and I don't know if I told you that the bookmark has Snug Hug, or Hug Snug seam binding. And then I did put the buttons on, and I forgot to mention that this rose is one that we poured, or I don't know if Lindsay poured it or I poured it, but you can just add, we do a clear or a white pour, and you can just add drops of colors, and you can get things with the same color depending on how much you put in, especially in the white. You can make more mauve type things, or you can end up with something more bright red. So it really depends on what you do. So I hope you like this. I had a great time putting it together for my partner, and I just wanted to show that when I do those bindings, that you can buy them in the colors. However, I have to buy a whole bunch of them. They run about $16, maybe $17 for 100 yards. And what I like to do, I get the white or the ivory, and then I can take this is a homemade spray I did with food coloring. And you know, the thing is, what's nice is you can make this as light or dark. You can make it a pale green. You can make it a bright Christmassy green, just depending on how much you water it down. The other one that I like to use, and this is one of my favorites, it's Tim Holtz's Distress Oxide Spray, and it happens to be the walnut stain. And what I like about it is when you spray it onto this, and even the hole reinforcements, it comes out like a verdigris. And it's really cool with the different shades of the green and the brown. And especially if you're making a junk journal, or I like to do a lot with steampunk and vintage. So it really comes out nice, and you're giving it that verdigris look. And then the other thing I wanted to mention, because I did use a lot of the music notes, what I like to do, and I find it works well, is I go to when I go to the flea market or thrift stores, I look for the ones that are really falling apart, and to see if I can get them inexpensive enough that I can use them without feeling guilty there. Just hit the holder, the camera. Anyway, this one happens to be Italian music, and what I like about it is that it's in fairly good shape, but I can also take it out, cut it, get it down to that 8.5 by 11, and make a copy of it, so I won't, once I get close to the end of it, I won't have to worry about not having it, have only a little bit of it left. One of the things I want to mention is I really don't worry about the copyright on these things for several reasons. And I guess the major one is that I don't sell anything, and I don't mass. And if I did sell, I don't mass sell, but I don't sell. I don't sell in flea markets. I don't sell online. I don't sell at craft fairs. what I do is these are all, everything I make is either for myself, kids, grandkids, cousins, aunts, uncles, whoever. They're all gifts, friends, and so I don't worry about that because they're not being produced other than for my own pleasure and enjoyment, and those are my friends and family, and I have made no money on them. So I just, wanted to throw that out there. And with this one too, it'll be cut down by I'll cut it down to the 8.5 by 11, put it in the bed, and make some copies. And then I will actually, once that is all done, then I will actually use the one that I'll have one as a template, and then I can just use it as, make them again, so I will always have them. And what was funny was I paid $5 for these, and what was kind of a laugh is that it was probably a stack of stuff between these little pamphlets and so forth about this big. And I'm walking, I paid the fellow $5, and I was a happy camper. And I'm walking away, and he says, "Man, wait." I said, "What's the matter?" I thought I had too much stuff. And he says, "No, you forgot the other half of that." I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "All this stuff goes with it." Well, then I ended up with a pile like this, yay big, like a foot. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. So anyway, I hadn't planned on carrying all that stuff. And I decided that, well, maybe what I better do is run it back to the car. So, you can get things. I just think that you have to be an eye for it. And again, sometimes you want to rescue these poor things that are on their last legs, and use them. And again, you can make copies and reuse them. Again, if you're selling, I'm going to tell you, you have to, figure out the stuff with the copyright. I have no intention of ever selling anything. So again, that's why I don't, I'm not concerned with any of that. I don't have an Etsy store. I don't sell on eBay. And I just don't do any of that. It's not my thing. So I just want to wish everybody a happy weekend. It is like 98 degrees here in the Hudson Valley in New York. And I am tried to go in the pool, and that just didn't work. So I'm here in the house, watching my NASCAR race on this afternoon. So what I'm going to ask you to do, folks, is if you haven't subscribed, please do so. I have some more videos planned that should be a lot more fun than this one, because it will be I'm actually going to do a little bit of a tutorial on how I do some of these things, and I think you'll enjoy them. Anyway, I want to say please subscribe. I'd love a thumbs up. And please, any comments, any questions, feel free to put them in, and I'll get back to you. And have a great day. Hope to see you soon.